So first of all, here with the Two of Swords, needing to make a difficult choice. What do you do? What do you do about this? You could potentially move forward with this, or you could kind of just leave it where it is. But I definitely feel like for a lot of you, you're dealing with a person who may be a little bit butthurt. Like, that's kind of how I see this. That you don't, I don't know. I kind of get the feeling that for some of you, you're not really sure if you want to make this situation work with this person or not. So let's start from the beginning, the Star. And then looking at the Six of Pentacles, I think that for you, you're looking at like bigger and better. Now, definitely we could be talking about the healing of a situation from the past for some of you. And it may be because somebody is being a little bit more giving, looking at the Six of Pentacles. But we're talking about you dealing with somebody who is wanting more give and take. But I don't know. I kind of get the feeling that with the Star for you, it's like all possibilities are open. Because with the Two of Swords, it would have been different had it been anything else. But the fact that this is the overall is like, for you, do I or don't I do this? For them, it's like, what do I do? I don't know what to do to, make this situation work because I want this person. Now, moving out of that though, with the Queen of Swords, this is where I feel like you may be dealing with somebody who may be being, a little bit mean over the fact that, they're heartbroken. And that heartbreak may be because of, my God, if I could talk right. Let me slow down. I'm getting ahead of myself. They are looking at heartbreak, but it's directly related to the fact that, with the Six of Pentacles, there may not be enough give on your part. And they may be being like really harsh and like really cold toward you. That, or this is you acting this way and creating this heartbreak for another person. But it's because some of you may be trying to heal over the fact that, there wasn't enough give and take. And the thing is, though, is that this person, I feel like, wants you. They want to be involved with you. Now, moving out of this with the Three of Pentacles, we're talking about how do we make this situation work? And I think that for some of you, you're at least considering it. But again, the Two of Swords being the overall, it's not really clear on whether or not you make the choice to do this. Now, with the Nine of Cups on their side, this is where the want comes in, because that's exactly what they're wanting. They're wanting you to make the choice here to start working on things with them. But they're hurt over, something here having to do with not getting enough or feeling like they're not getting enough here. That, or the reason why they're not giving you anything is because there's still some heartbreak. But coming out of this, though, looking at the Five of Wands for you, absolutely, with the Two of Swords, this could be the inner struggle. Now, on the other hand, with this coming out, there isn't a lot of understanding with the communication that is happening between the two of you on, what needs to be done in order for this situation to work. It's like you're just not seeing the same thing that this person is. Now, with the Ace of Swords, there's absolutely the clarity and the truth about not being able to, make the choice to do something either way here. But with the Eight of Pentacles coming out, this could definitely suggest that, there is the hard work that's being put in, that, or, they're focused on doing whatever it takes to kind of like, make this situation work because that's what they're wanting. And then Judgment. And this is basically, them needing to kind of look at the situation on whether or not it's worth the time and effort with you anymore. And I don't mean that in a mean way, but it's only because for you, I don't know that this is something that you actually want, though. Now, for some of you, it's going to be about you waiting on this person to kind of figure out what the hell it is that they want, and you're willing to do, what's necessary to give them what they want. But I don't know. I just don't see Aries doing that. And a lot of that is because of the Five of Wands coming out, because looking at this with the Seven of Cups and then looking over here at the Eight of Cups, right? there's things that, need to be looked at here and things that need to be worked on. Details need to be looked at, but the details are not something that the both of you are seeing the same way. Now with the Seven of Cups, like I say with this one, it's like seeing how good things could be, but really it's like, how do we get from here to there? Right? But for you, it's like you can see how things could be, but is that really what you want to do? And for them with the Eight of Cups, it's like, all right, so do I need to move on now? Do I need to stop doing this and investing so much into this if, they're not really willing to act on working on this? But there's nothing being kept hidden. The truth is completely out, but it's really about, the both of you needing to kind of accept the truth that maybe now is not the time to make the choice to work on anything. Now, with the Wheel of Fortune, looking at the Nine of Wands, this is them kind of like going, I don't want to give up on this situation. I don't want to give up on this person. But with the Wheel of Fortune, you're kind of looking at it like, do I want to go around with this again? Because you're not really acting on it, but you're kind of looking at what the possibilities are, not just within this situation, but then for you though, too, I think. And you want things, I believe, to work out in a good way for you, but that may not be with this person, though. With the Five of Swords coming out, yeah, it kind of leads to a fight here, and then with Judgment, it's them definitely having to go, okay, well, maybe I need to, really look at this, lay it to rest, and be done with it. Now, on the other hand, it's going to be them being like, I can look past this. I can look past all of this. And just let it go, because it's something that they're wanting, though. I really feel that you're dealing with somebody who really wants you. The problem is with the Five of Swords, they may be saying things, though, to you that are going to make it, even harder for you to make the choice to want to work on things, especially if they're acting like an idiot because they want you to do what they want. And what they want is you, and they want you to make a choice here to start working on things with them. But like I said, I don't know that it's necessarily something that you want. And then the Knight of Pentacles. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. I don't think that for a lot of you, it's, wanting to be tied down or wanting to be involved with somebody specific here. The Six of Wands. Now, for some of you, you are, putting yourself out there, but you may be attracting the attention of somebody who may be a little bit, kind of obsessive, maybe stalkerish, possibly here with the Page of Swords. Somebody who's like literally up your ass, but it's you like intentionally but unintentionally attracting that, if that makes sense. Because if you are single and putting yourself out there, you didn't intend to, but because you're putting yourself out there, that is kind of what you're attracting, unfortunately. The Ace of Cups and the Three of Cups. This, to me, is going to be about you putting yourself out there for a person who may be a little bit obsessed with you. There is the potential for a new beginning and possibly, kind of like getting back together here with the Three of Cups. Because we're also talking about the mending of a broken heart. But the thing is, though, is you move into this place where we're talking about, I just want to be friends. I don't know that I'm interested in actually having this new beginning. The potential is absolutely there. But, the Magician is about making something happen in your love life. But with the Knight of Pentacles, this is, oh yeah, that's great, but I don't want any more than just, maybe a physical connection. Like you don't want to be tied down. That's the thing. But this person may be interpreting it, though, as there is the potential to restart with you, but that is because they may not be able to kind of like let you go. And I say this because we're looking at you needing to stay free. Now, I mean, definitely we can flip the script on this, and this could be about you being the one that's a little obsessive, but I don't think that that's the case here. Because again, we're talking about you freeing yourself. The Chariot. It's like this person comes out of nowhere and wants to take control of, what is happening between you and them. But that's because they're constantly like watching you and watching what you're doing. And that's kind of what I get here from that Page of Swords. But with the King of Swords, right, it's not about emotions, though, and that's the thing. But somebody else is perceiving it that way. With the King of Swords, you're talking about somebody that's not concerned with an emotional connection. You know, it is what it is. And coming out of this, you know, with wanting to make something happen here, somebody is not comfortable with it. And it's like, yeah, that's great and all, but I don't want any more than just this. You know, I mean, it's an opening. It's like the door is opening for somebody, but the way that they're seeing it is much different than what it actually is. You know, it's funny because I'm surprised that we're not seeing, you know, like the Moon or the Seven of Cups here, but the connection is actually happening. That's the thing. Like, it actually happens. There is, you know, at least some kind of, you know, emotional communication or hooking up literally here between you and a person who is like up your ass. But I don't think that you're comfortable with anything more than, you know, like I said, just the physical contact. But it's like they're really wanting to control the way things are going, but you are ultimately here in control of what happens. And if you're not comfortable, then, you know, it is what it is. Let's just be friends. You know, that, or the situation moves that way for another person. And the Six of Swords. Okay, so, you know, I mean, maybe. I mean, it depends here. This is either going to be you or the person that you're dealing with, okay? The Four of Pentacles. Somebody, I feel like, is trying to get, you know, the connection with you in a different direction. They're wanting a little bit more passion, but I think for you it's just all about lust, or it's the other person. Like, you may be wanting more, but all they are is just, you know, it's physical attraction, and that's it. Because the Devil is just straight up lust. I mean, that's all it is. You know, but when you're looking at the Four of Pentacles, you're talking about somebody who's really trying to get passion going within another person. With the Six of Pentacles, somebody is feeling like they're not getting the attention that they want, and somebody is oblivious to it. Looking at the Ten of Cups, because this would be otherwise, you know, a happy situation, but the other person is not understanding that somebody else is like literally stepping out here, or, you know, just not as happy as, you know, they could be. And a lot of that is because they're trying, but nothing is actually happening here with this Four of Pentacles beyond the physical. But the good news is that coming out that, yeah, you may be dealing with somebody or yourself here with the Emperor, who is full of passion and drive, but they are wanting to kind of like, you know, bridge the gap or the distance between you. That's kind of how I see the Six of Swords. Okay. And then the Page of Cups. All right. I think that, first of all, let me just start from the beginning. The Five of Cups. Somebody is like needing to apologize for something, and that may be why it's hard for somebody to kind of like see past, you know, just a physical connection with you, because something was done wrong in the past here, but clearly they're trying to apologize for it. But it's whether or not somebody can get over the past. The Ace of Swords is about trust, truth and trust here. But, you know, if for you though, I think that it may be the other person that is needing, you know, for you to kind of like speak up, because they may feel like they're lacking, or like I said, it's the other way around here, you know, but you still, regardless, are being asked to kind of like have faith and trust the situation, right? Trust that things are going to get better, because I do believe that somebody is trying. They're not being like they used to be, you know, because there's a big difference between the Devil and the Emperor. The Emperor may be full of, you know, passion and drive, but there is, you know, some emotions here that somebody is trying to get out, but it's like they can't say it in the right way. That's how I see the Page of Cups here. So they're trying to communicate the way that they feel, but I think that the best way for them to express that to you is actually through physical action. And I think that that's what, you know, you're going to have to understand moving forward and trust here. You know, trust that it's more than sex for them. It's just that they can't really like get it out. That, or it's about you not being able to communicate it. But, you know, somebody is trying here for sure. You know, to fix that or to bridge the distance, but the way that they do it is in a physical way rather than in a romantic or loving way, because they just can't do it.